everybody, and welcome to the David Christopher channel. I'm Jen.
I'm David.
And we're here to spend some time with you, show you some ideas, hopefully inspire you to be creative. And these are very simple ideas that David has for us today. We actually have 3 ways that he's going to use things like, why do they call them orbs versus spheres versus balls? What's the difference?
Get tired of saying the same thing. That's the only thing I could come up with.
So, yeah, I don't think there's a difference. Some just sound fancier than others, like, oh, I'm going to put my herb in my decor today. Versus, I got this moss ball. I'm just going to drop it in here.
Yeah, that's our...
So, whichever way that you prefer, David's going to cut to the chase and get started to show you exactly how to achieve these 3 looks. And also remember, we sell wholesale and retail. Check out our website, davidchristopher.com. Check out the description to see all the items that we're using today. All of those can be found on our website. And be sure to reach out to us on social media if you have any questions. We are always willing to help. Let's get started. What's the first thing you got for us today?
So the first thing we're going to do is I've got these new wire tulip containers that I really love, and these actually have the little flare on the side that will pull out. So they're going to actually come really flat like this in the box just to save space for shipping, and you just kind of pull those out. Keeps them from getting broken if they're welded on like that also. So just kind of flare those out to where you feel comfortable.
This comes in 2 sizes.
Mm-hmm. There's a large and a small.
Okay.
And, you know, it's very simple for people. A lot of times people will use urns, things like this, and just, you know, put spheres on top of those. But a lot of times what I like to do is I'll start by placing some things, and I may not take all the tags off of everything just to save time today, but I like to layer different pieces in. So I may start with like a moss ball, and then a boxwood ball, and then maybe go to a vine ball, you know, just kind of back and forth. And just remember, I'm not taking the tags off.
Yes, we leave the tags on because these are actually items that are in our retail store. So if people want to, after he completes this, we will probably set it on a shelf and people can buy them right out of the container.
But then at the same time, if you want to add just like a little bit of color, sometimes I'll cut up something and I'll put this.
You can take the tag off.
Yeah. I'll cut these and just give it a little bit of that extra kind of growing out of my container piece, just to give it a little something different, so it's not just balls in the container or orbs or spheres or something, you know, whatever word you choose to associate that with. Yeah, so we get a little more of a natural feel kind of going on there.
You got one more. Do we need to put anything in the bottom part to come out, like growing out?
You can. I mean, that's definitely an option. Because if we can usually tuck something in kind of lower.
Yeah, I like that.
If you feel like you end up with a gap down there, you can always go back and just kind of fill in a little bit here or there. But just something that looks very organic, very natural. And then sometimes I'll kind of top this with a bird's nest and maybe another, let's see, I've got another vine ball here somewhere.
Another vine ball? Oh, it's behind me. Okay.
A little bit larger one. So just something that kind of, you know, completes that look. And then you can always, if you decide you want a little height, we can always add something a little bit taller.
This is called our Grand Lace Fern that David's working with now, and it comes like this, and as you can see, he is cutting it apart so that you can use it. And that's the great thing about florals, is most of them can be cut apart. You don't have to use the whole thing as is, but you can cut it and style it to your liking to fit whatever you're needing.
Very loose, very wispy, keeping that nice light feel.
And if you hear us sniffling today, allergies in the South right now are crazy. Comment and let us know if you're suffering with seasonal allergies because it is wild. It's like pollen everywhere. It's like its own season of pollination. And so we both sound a little snuffy.
We are a little
snuffy. Snuffleupagus. We sound like Snuffleupagus. Remember him from Sesame Street?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I haven't thought about him in a long time. So,
all I remember about him is my mother saying that she cried about Mr. Snuffleupagus because nobody believed Big Bird that he existed.
oh, your mom cried?
Well, I was young at the time, so I think my mom had gotten a little too involved in the Sesame Street.
You know, that can happen when you're, especially if you're like a stay-at-home mom with your children.
You know, she may have watched some of the stories, but she was also on the Sesame Street.
You get into it. I remember getting into certain shows with my kids, certain cartoons and stuff that they would watch. I like to watch them too.
So now we're going to work on our smaller version, and because it's a little bit narrower, we're going to have just a few less options. So we're really just going to kind of layer this up with just a few things. And then, let's see, I've got another boxwood ball. So this one, you know, I'll probably keep this one a little less fluid with everything so that this would be a nice pair that I could put together somewhere, and I think those would work really well. It's just something that looks very garden, very green this time of year. It's a really good look.
On to idea number 2. What do you have for us?
So for idea number 2, we're going to use a larger metal container, and we're going to use kind of the same idea. I'm going to take up a little bit of space with this really large.
That is massive. What size is that?
That's
14
inches.
inches.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to like.
It's a basketball. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good shot.
Thanks.
All right. So for this, we're gonna use a few other pieces just to kind of keep it, like I said, a little more flowing, a little more organic. And
I thought that was the asparagus. You love that stuff.
I do. It feels so very real and just has such a nice light look to it that I do like using it.
And then you've added one of our angel vine orbs in 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
More asparagus on top.
More asparagus, yeah. So I'm going to use a couple of these, and I need a couple of the smaller ones.
Okay.
Maybe another boxwood ball here.
This is our 4-inch mossed angel vine orb.
Yeah, so we have it with moss and without moss.
Need one more.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of layering some of the orbs around, and then I'm going to use a bird's nest just because it's spring. I like to use bird's nest, especially this one has like some moss, and it also has some of that coloration that makes me think of the vine balls. So I think that really works well in that scenario. And then we can also use our same lace firm just to give it a little extra height. But it doesn't have to be, you know, enormous, just something that keeps it kind of like it's growing out here.
Going to. We have a couple of other options in the gold containers, and these are both from our David Christopher's For the Home collection. And these are, like this one that he's using, obviously you can tell is larger. So we basically have, we know everyone deals with different sizes of space, so this might not work for some of you because it is so large. But remember, you can always scale things down or scale things up depending on the space that you're putting them in. And this little set here, this one just nests inside if you decide to buy 2. It's kind of loud. But these are, I guess all 3 of these are metal containers, as you can hear when I, hey. Makes me think of cowbell.
Need more cowbell?
We need more cowbell, always. Sorry.
You gotta get the full like motion going on. With
Well, I would, but I might damage these. What if I
Yeah,
did the
that's-
bottoms? It doesn't sound like a cowbell.
No.
It's just this work. Sorry, I'll stop. It's the antihistamines getting to me. Oh.
Just something nice, but it gives you a little bit of structure kind of with the orbs and everything, but then you've kind of made it feel a little more organic with all the things that are kind of growing out from your container. So that's just something really quick and simple that you can add if you've got baskets or some of these antique brass kind of containers. It's a really good organic look to mix with that metal color. So just keep that in mind.
So we're back with idea number
3.
Or should I just do this? Does that mean 6?
Yeah. How many is this many and this many?
Yeah. Idea number 3. I'll put this hand behind my back. So what are you doing for idea number 3?
So we also have this low kind of, I consider them like a trough container. It's like a half barrel that's got handles, and it's got this nice gold coloration, this antique gold. So I feel like it works very well for this style. And while a lot of people may be very content to just drop 3 of like the same something in there, which looks very symmetrical, and you could do that, we're gonna do something.
That's kind of boring.
Yeah, I get very bored very quickly, so we're gonna use some different pieces because we don't want everything to really be exactly the same. We want to mix this up a little bit, and you can just have fun with this, kind of mix some different pieces, different styles of orbs, just kind of balance them out so you don't have all like non-mossed on one side and all mossed on another side. You get some of your pieces kind of tucked in differently here and there. And then really we're just going to add a little bit of green to fill in some of this spot. And this is a great place where if you want to add some color, you can also do that. So we're going to add a little bit of this boxwood here and there, just in a few spots, just to fill in some of our gaps. It doesn't have to be really, extremely perfect because we want to keep it kind of like it's growing out of some different places. And then we're also going to be able to, like I said, this is a great place to add some color. If you want to throw a little pop of hot pink here and there, that's a great place to do it. This is a great thing. I always tell people, if you're looking for something for like a dining room table or something on a kitchen island that you might want to change out seasonally, these are a great thing to do because you can use pink today and you can pull that out tomorrow and use something completely different if you so choose. And then we're going to add this onion flower. So this is kind of like a little orb on its own, so keeping in that kind of feel, and we're just going to cut a few of these off. So we can add those kind of low, keeping this very, very slight with the color, because we want to keep mostly that green combination going on, but we're going to add just a little bit of this. So we're going to put one just maybe a little bit taller in the middle, like it's growing out here. Keep that illusion that this is completely natural. And just something really easy that can be done by just about anybody. Doesn't take a lot of time, really something quick. And then, if you decide to pull that out and you want to add whites, you want to add a different color, that's a great option for you.
So that's a wrap. We have 3 ideas for you. We have the tulip vases in 2 different sizes that are filled with the orbs, spheres, balls, whatever you've decided that you want to call them. We have the metal container arrangement. Did you call it something specific?
I did not.
Okay.
A mound of orbs and foliage.
And foliage. And we have the beautiful tray that he created with the onion flowers, roses, orbs, boxwood, and that's it. That was pretty simple. I think you all can do that very easily.
DIY version today.
Yes. We want to end today with a little bit of encouragement like we try to do. It's Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So remember, that means wherever you go. When you are in traffic, the Lord is with you. When you are at home, the Lord is with you. When you're at work, the Lord is with you. When you are in the grocery store, the Lord is with you. So He's with you everywhere that you go. And sometimes that's a very comforting thing to remember during times that maybe you're afraid, you're having fear. But this verse reminds us not to be frightened, not to have fear, but to remember that we are loved, that we are with God, that we can be in Christ and carry His Holy Spirit with us everywhere we go.
I'm usually less fearful in traffic and more angry in traffic.
Maybe we'll cover that verse next time.
Yes, that should be, that's the goal for next week. Patience or something along those.
Have a good week, and we will see you next time. Bye.